Football fans, we are happy to announce this week's Malloy State Farm and Pigskin Preview Player of the Week.
We would like to congratulate senior all-purpose back Gavin Hagan of Providence with his 3 touchdowns and Providence's 24-6 win over Marian Catholic. Gavin and his parents will join us along with his coach, Tyler Plants.
On December 8th at the award ceremony at Gatto's in New Lenox, sponsored by Frank Gatto, a great partner to this program.
You want our radio station to do what?
Put me on as an election expert.
Well,
Look, people have election questions. Is what they read, heard, or saw true? Don't you find that important?
Yes, which is why we tell them to contact their state or local voting authorities. As professionals committed to the integrity of elections, they're the best source for information.
Perfect. Glad I could help. Here's my bill. Know anyone in Wisconsin?
What?
I'm making my way north. I really need a place to stay.
Sponsored by the Illinois State Board of Elections and aired in cooperation with this station.
After a death in the family, you might think hospice care is over. But with Lightways Hospice and Serious Illness Care, their compassionate care continues with grief support. In fact, you don't even have to have worked with Lightways in order to receive grief support services, always at no charge. Grief support is offered to all Lightways families, where their caring professionals understand common grief reactions, encourage you to share your grief journey, help you to heal, and to start to feel like yourself, while you grow by listening and supporting others, and discover ways to honor your loved one's legacy. Lightways licensed grief counselors provide individual and family counseling, as well as a slate of workshops, support groups, and special programs to help you with grief education, self-care during intense grief reactions, and developing coping skills to assist you in working through the grief process. Find a complete schedule of grief support groups and upcoming events at lightways.org or call 815-460-3295. Lightways Hospice and Serious Illness Care. Through darkness, we bring light.
Give the star in your life the brightest gift in the world. Name a star after them. This is Rocky Moselle with International Star Registry. For $59 and a call to 800-282-3333 or visit starregistry.com, you can name a star for birthdays, weddings, or even memorials. Over 45 years, we have named millions of stars for celebrities and individuals from around the world. The star you name will be recorded in book form in the U.S. Copyright Office. Visit starregistry.com or call 800-282-3333. Give the star in your life the brightest gift in the world. Name a star after them. This is Rocky Moselle with International Star Registry. For $59 and a call to 800-282-3333 or visit starregistry.com, you can name a star for birthdays, weddings, or even memorials. Over 45 years, we have named millions of stars for celebrities and individuals from around the world. The star you name will be recorded in book form in the U.S. Copyright Office. Visit starregistry.com or call 800-282-3333.
Edgy Tim is here. Coach Rod is here. The best high school football fans in the state are here. It's time for Pigskin Preview. Coaches, players, fans, and experts. You get them all right here on Pigskin Preview. Powered by State Farm agents Kevin Malloy and John Wright.
And good evening and welcome. It is the Week 9 edition, oh boy, of Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL, Will County's News Talk Sports, and Coach Joe Rodriguero. If we don't have it figured out by now, I don't think we'll ever have it figured out. But we got a whole lot to talk about, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to dig into Week 9 games, some tremendous games here in the Will County area as well as statewide. Oh, by the way, there's this thing called the playoff pairings coming up on Saturday. We will have Steve Susi in here at about 6:25 to get his thoughts and the latest from the Wizard of Kankakee. Will join us. We will also hear from Rob Zavonar this evening from Lincoln Way East, as well as Jake Jaworski and Tyler Plants. Wondering why we're talking to them.
Little games there, two small games in the state.
Well, Coach Joe, this edition and every edition of Pigskin Preview brought to you by our State Farm agents, Kevin Malloy in New Lenox and John Wright in Joliet. Like a good neighbor, Joe.
State Farm is there.
And our broadcast schedule is as follows: 6:05 Friday Night Light pregame with the one and only Tony. 7:30 kickoff from the Emerald Isle. It'll be a packed Emerald Isle tomorrow night. Joliet Catholic makes the short bus ride over to the Emerald Isle to take on Providence Catholic. Must-win game for the Celtics and a sure want-to-win game for the Hilltoppers, Joe.
I totally agree. I think with the points to guarantee Providence Catholic getting in. They need that 5th win for sure, and Joliet Catholic would probably like nothing more than just to knock them out of the playoffs.
If you have a team that you would like to have in the Big 5 poll, just text me, send a DM, and we'll add them this week because we're getting to the point where I really just don't want to do this poll anymore.
We're starting to throw darts.
Nope. We might put a grade school in next week, depending upon how things go in the first round. So.
This is true.
Yep. The Chinook Indians ranked number 5 in the Big 5 poll. Could happen.
Oh.
Could happen. Welcome aboard. Great to have everyone here. Coach Joe, I know you're always very busy in your whirlwind of things to do. I know that you've been known many things. You've been known as Cowboy Ray.
Yeah.
I'm now known as Dave Dwyer at Cracker Barrel in Joliet.
That was a great story.
We might have to tell you that story a little bit later, but yes. So if you see me at Cracker Barrel, yes, I am Dave Dwyer from 1340 WJOL.
That was a classic story.
Yeah, we'll get to that. But again, Joe, it's the fun time of year. I know we're ready for playoff football. Yes. And Evan, don't go anywhere because I have to ask you this question as well. Is it a good year? Is it a not good year? And where are we heading? And I don't like where we're heading.
Neither do I. Neither do I. I mean,
I do not like where we're heading right now. But the one thing I can say, I don't think there's anyone around the state that feels really safe and secure about where they're at. I would have said maybe East St. Louis, but after their 14-7 win over Edwardsville last week, I think even the Flyer fans might be, they won't admit it, but they might be a little nervous this time of year.
I think looking ahead a little bit too.
Could be.
That
IMG.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's a big one.
Yes.
So again, we will get into that. We'll certainly talk about and preview the games. If you want to call us, 815-254-7300. We do have open phone lines now. We will have open phone lines again at 7:05, as I mentioned. Steve Susi at 6:25, Rob Zavonar at 6:45. Joe?
Yes, sir.
Fill us in on the game you did last Friday.
All right, we were at Lockport, played Lincoln Way West, an outstanding game. Double overtime. Lincoln Way West went for 2 in the second overtime. And Hetfish hit a receiver in the corner of the end zone and got the 2-point conversion. As I told you on Friday night, and I think Evan would agree with me here, it was an outstanding game to watch. But as far as the coaching aspect is concerned, the technical things, I talked to both coaches after the game, and I said this question, I asked them this to both coaches. There were so many bad snaps on punts.
Yeah, we need to talk about this.
Shotgun snaps. It was. I mean, every time they went out to punt, you would hold your breath just to see if the snap was good.
Why the sudden rash of bad snapping?
Well, when I talked to Coach Lokank, he says, "Coach," he goes, "We never do that. I don't know.
It's everywhere.
I don't know what was going on." And of course, I talked to George, and he said he was on his 3rd long snapper.
Yeah.
So that's just, I can understand George's dilemma because that guy might not get that many snaps during the week to do that.
Yep.
But it was, even with the Lincoln Way Centrals, 2 of their losses were in overtime on bad snaps.
Well, and I'm not even talking long snappers. I'm talking shotgun snaps.
Yeah,
horrible.
There must have
I've seen it all year everywhere.
Evan, quote me if I'm wrong here, but probably even with the shotgun snaps, 25 times at least the quarterbacks are catching the ball either on the ground or with one
way
hand
over their head,
right or left.
Yep.
I mean, it was. I think. I was
Evan, do we have a station long snap specialist on staff? Or
I mean, I don't know what the rash could be. I don't know if it's they're not spending enough time teaching shotgun snaps because there's just a expected ease with it with these shotgun offenses. I mean, I don't know what it is, but I mean, it was literally to the point where during our game we were discussing on the air like
you might have to go under
on 4th down here because you're worried the snap might be bad. Not the punter's not doing his job or not the kick coverage unit can't cover. You don't know you can get the guy the ball before the defense gets back there to block it. So, do you go for it here? That was a real conversation we had at one point.
And I'm sorry,
go ahead.
In some of the, you can do one. I mean, you can't go back any farther because then it's a real long snap. But if you come up closer, the possibilities of getting one blocked. if you come up to, as far as coming up to catch a shorter snap for a punt.
You tell me right now, what other show in the world is talking about snaps right now? None. Only here. You're right. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. You're welcome. On the phone lines, Bob joins us. Hello, Bob.
What's up, guys?
Well, I will ask you, fine sir, the question I asked the two gentlemen in the studio a little while ago. Is this a bad year?
Nah, it's kind of flexible, Things are coming up toward the end for everybody.
So it's not a bad year, but it's a flexible year.
Yeah.
So is flexible the pretty girl with the 550 credit score?
I guess.
Is that what you're saying?
I guess.
Okay.
Oh, I got to tell you, I went down to watch Moore's this last weekend because we didn't have a game playing cinema.
Yeah, I was wondering what you were doing with your empty Friday.
Yeah, we went down there. Something I didn't see since I've been watching football. Their defense line stands straight up.
Morris's?
No.
Oh.
Sycamore's.
Sycamore?
Sycamore does.
Yeah.
Yeah. Surprises me.
Yeah. Well, they've been pretty good. It's working for them.
Oh, yeah. You can't complain about that. They had a real nice field too.
Did it feel weird cheating on your Hilltoppers on Friday? A little bit.
Well, there was nothing else to do.
Yeah, I know.
So we figure we go see a team that's both going to be in 5A. So
yeah,
that's why we all loaded up and went down.
I know how you operate, Bob. I'm just teasing you a little bit.
That's right.
What do we do for the road game? Do we tailgate or what do we do?
Well, nah, no tailgating.
Okay.
You're
all business. You're all business, right?
All business for the away games.
Yep.
That's right.
No doubt about it. All right, my friend. Good to hear from you. Have fun tomorrow night. Of course, that game.
Yep.
Right here, 1340 WJOL, WJOL.com, as well as on the Odyssey app. Thank you, Bob.
Yep.
Thanks, buddy. All right.
All right. Bob drops off, leaves an open phone line for you, 815-254-7300. Open line now. We'll have an open line again at 7:05, and we'd love to hear from you. Joe, let's go through some of the games.
You got it.
I tell you where I went, but you guys basically really don't care at this point, and that's okay. I'm all right with that.
I know where you went last Friday.
Yeah, I had a great time. Dixon and Byron was a lot of fun.
I heard your trip home was pretty fun too.
Oh yeah, great fun. Very knowledgeable. I learned a lot on that road trip. Evan, I learned so many things on that road trip driving back from back from Dixon.
Yeah.
I shared that with you as well.
Let's
go out to the phone lines. Mike joining us. Hello, Mike.
Hey, Edgy and Joe, what do you say tonight?
Hey, buddy, how are you?
The greatest, most listened to high school radio show in the country. I love it.
At this time frame in this area code, yes, I agree with you.
It's the only one. No,
What's up?
Well, anyway, talking about the big game, everybody knows what the big game is in the state this weekend. Joliet Catholic at Providence.
Oh, I thought you meant IMG and East St. Louis.
Are they playing? I didn't know that.
Yes. It's on national TV. Kidding. Go ahead.
Well, big deal. So anyway, Joliet Catholic at Providence. Everybody knows, number one, the toughest place to play in the state, bar none. Every coach agrees with that, is at Providence. They've got that advantage.
Yep.
Secondly, they've got a great coach. Of course, he went to Notre Dame, so he's obviously a very good coach.
So he can't beat NIU, is what you're telling me.
There you go.
Right. Now, of course,
Mike, I'm stirring it up tonight with you, man.
Stirring it up. You better watch out, Mike.
Okay, all right. We have a great coach ourselves, Coach Jaworski, awesome coach. My question really is this, especially after watching closely on the field at Mount Carmel. I mean, I'm not saying anything that you guys don't know, that Coach Plant doesn't know, and the listenership doesn't know. Joliet Catholic is a very strong team, great defense, great running attack, no passing attack. The quarterback is pretty good. He can throw the ball, but I don't think he has receivers. And my next question is, I just wish we would throw some passes to the tight end, some screen passes, some passes to the running backs. I think Coach Plant is going to, crowd 11 guys into the line and dare us to run. I think it's going to be. I predict this, that Joliet Catholic wins this game. They're going to cakewalk to the state finals. Then they'll play Nazareth again, or maybe Prairie Ridge, whichever. But it's going to be a very, very difficult game. I'd like to hear you guys comments on the air. So
you got
that's
it, Mike.
mine
Thanks for
tonight.
calling,
thanks for
Mike.
calling,
Always
Mike.
good to hear from you. I think, Joe, that you got to score points. And I think if you have a flaw that has been kind of an issue on and off, I think Providence is going to fully expose it tomorrow night.
Right.
So you better be ready.
To get to Mike's point as far as the passing game, one thing to remember is that Lucas Simulik is a tremendous athlete. He's a baseball player.
Yep.
He wasn't around much in the summer, and that's Coach Jaworski lets him do what he wants to do in the summertime. So the time to get ready, get ready with your receivers and stuff, Coach Jaworski did not have that, either did Lucas Simulik. As the season progressed, I think he was throwing the ball a little bit better. But you're right. A passing attack is much needed. To the reverse side of that, we've seen some games. We've done some games. We did the Fenwick game and we did the Marist game. And the Fenwick game, Joliet Catholic struggled running the football because of the fact they brought the corners up.
Yep.
And they just sat there and waited. And there was just too many guys to block. In the Marist game, it changed. Guys started
throwing it.
They started throwing a little bit more, but again, the running backs did an outstanding job looking for the opening, not so much where they were supposed to run, but where the opening was at, because everything just shifts over.
Yep.
Once they see the motion, everybody shifts over to the one side.
Yep.
So I agree with you though, Mike. They're going to have to throw the ball a little bit more. And as Edgy said, I think special teams is going to be absolutely, if Joliet Catholic wins this game, they're going to have to be flawless in that. If Providence wins the game, it's going to be because of special teams.
Throw the ball when you want to throw the ball, not when you have to throw the ball.
Yep. Stay ahead of the sticks. Yes.
Let's go out real quick to Greg and Tinley. Hey, Greg, thanks for joining us. We only got a couple minutes here. So what do you got?
Oh, real quick. I just wanted to break down. I saw the East game last week against Andrew. And Andrew, don't sleep on them. They've got some boys.
Yep.
I've heard that.
Can do some things.
Yep, I've heard that.
That was a pretty good game for about the half. But I just want to say tomorrow night's game, with Naperville Central is going to be interesting. They've had two common opponents, Naperville North and Lockport, I believe. And, if you look at the scores, East is just,
yeah, they're blowing everybody out.
They can score points on anybody. So I think what Naperville's game plan has to be is to control the ball. They have to run the ball against East and control the clock, I should say.
Yeah.
Kind of like what Homewood Flossmoor did in the first half, up until like the last couple minutes when they kind of fell apart. But that's what you got to do against East. You can't let that offense have the ball 4 or 5 times a half. They'll just kill you. So that's what I'm going to be watching tomorrow night. I'm going out there.
All right, Greg.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it, pal. All right, we'll step aside and take a break. When we come back, the Wizard of Kankakee will join us, Steve Susi, putting on that wizard hat, dialing up the magic 8-ball, and we'll find out what's going on with these playoff pairings. Welcome to Pigskin Preview. This is the Week 9 edition here on 1340 WJOL, Will County's News, Talk, Sports.
Hey, high school football fans. We are happy to announce this week's Malloy State Farm and Pigskin Preview Player of the Week.
We would like to congratulate senior all-purpose back Gavin Hagan of Providence with his 3 touchdowns and Providence's 24-6 win over Marion Catholic. Gavin and his parents will join us along with his coach, Tyler Plans.
On December 8th at the award ceremony at Gatto's in New Lenox, sponsored by Frank Gatto, a great partner to this program.
What's better than 1 win? 3 wins. With Straight Savings, you keep your own phone, get 1 line for only $25 a month with real unlimited data, and get rewarded with a $200 phone credit after 12 months. It's a win-win-win. Head to Walmart or visit straighttalk.com today. Switch to Straight Talk. Less dollars, more sense. Straight Savings Plan enrollment requires compatible unlocked device and new line of service. Bonus device credit requires 12 months of active service. Offer ends if eligibility requirements are no longer. Taxes and fees apply. For net management practices, see Straight Talk's terms and conditions.
It's common knowledge that after age 30, our metabolism changes. We have less energy and gain weight easier. There's a way to feel better, not in years or months, but sometimes in just days.
I'm Chuck Norris. I tried everything. Working with a team of health experts, we came up with Morning Kick. Morning Kick is a revolutionary new formula that combines all my favorite supplements in into one daily drink.
Morning Kick has probiotics to help you lose weight, prebiotics for digestion, superfoods for muscles and joints, and powerful anti-aging supplements. It'll help you feel youthful, energized, and helps manage stress.
I look and feel better than I have in years.
Go to roundhouseprovisions.com, use code SAVE, or text SAVE to 511-511 and claim 40% off. Roundhouseprovisions.com, code SAVE.
Every purchase comes with our 90-day money-back guarantee. You could be feeling these changes within just a couple of days.
Text SAVE to 511-511.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Tax fees may apply.
Your official home for Joliet and Will County sports is 1340 WJOL.
And welcome back. It is the Week 9 edition of Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL, Will County's News Talk Sports. EDGYTIM along with the coach, Joe Rodagero, Cowboy Ray, whatever you want to call him. Evan Bredesen spinning the dials and taking care of our important things behind the scenes. And, well, now it's the time. It's time to go out to the phone lines. It's his time of year, like Pumpkin Spice and Steve Susie. That's about it. Joining us on the phone, the Wizard of Kankakee, the genius of projecting playoff brackets, Steve Susie. Sir, welcome aboard. And as I told you, the first question I have for you, why do you hate Plainfield South and why do you hate Minooka? I'll listen for your answer.
First of all, I didn't know that you knew that my other nickname was Pumpkin Spice. So congratulations on that.
Hey, pal, whatever works for you. Okay.
Well, you do know that I hate everyone. So it's not like a mutually exclusive thing. If you draw someone that you don't like in your projection, it's because I hate you. It's not specific to Minooka.
At least he admitted it now on the air.
Yeah,
We'll cut that up. We'll have it. We'll run it tomorrow morning on the news. So let's get into this a little bit. So what's been very interesting about all this, and I'm sure we would love for you to expound on it a little bit. Seems like things have settled in quite a bit, but isn't that when things are kind of the scariest? Like there's a shark out there, but you haven't seen it, but you kind of know it's waiting in the wings. Is that your feel right about now?
Yeah, I think a little bit. It's been very, very strange the last couple of weeks. Like you said, there's been a lot of settling going in. There have not been a lot of games where they've come in and I've gone, oh, geez, that's going to really upset the apple cart here. It's, there's just been a steady stream of maybe 6 to 8 new teams every week that are, either moving back in or, dropping out. And usually that number is like 20, 25 even sometimes. And it's just doesn't seem like there's a whole heck of a lot of movement. And we might have 1 week of that, but we've had like 3 of them. So it just leads me to believe that the tornado is coming, this weekend because we've had too much stability and consistency for it to not go all haywire tomorrow night and, basically render everything I've been doing for the last 8 weeks completely meaningless.
So the trend the last handful of weeks has been, and I know this is something that's always very popular to talk about, especially in the early projections. All of a sudden, it looks like your 4 and 5 teams are getting a little bit nervous by the day. Is that fair?
Yeah, I think that's really fair. And it's one of those situations where, you almost need what I think was an isolated incident to happen again for the floodgates to open. And when I'm speaking about that incident, last year, we went into week 9 and there are 2 lists of 4 and 4 teams. There's the 4 and 4 teams that are playing somebody that has a better record than them. And then there's the 4 and 4 teams that have a game against a team with a worse record than them. Ideally, you would think that, with teams on their playoff lines, on the line, that there would be quite a few teams that come out of that record, bin where they're playing a team that has a better record than them. Last year, there were only 3. And then on the other side, those 4 and 4 teams that were playing a team with a worse record, and it looks like they have an easy path to that 5th win. 7 of those teams lost. And that's why we ended up with 6 4-win teams. I find it really hard to believe that those numbers are going to be duplicated again this year. And if they go the other way, that almost wipes out every single opportunity for a 4-win team. If that number just flips this year and goes the other way, because in my last projection, I had 5 4-win teams getting in, But like I just said, their fate hinges all with those 4-4 teams this week, whether or not they win or lose those games. So if that number comes out like it did last year, then yes, we're gonna have close to double-digit 4-win teams in the playoffs. But if it goes the other way, it might dwindle down to 1, 2, maybe none at all.
Yep. Well, I think you kind of answered my question a little bit there, Steve, because I was looking at Lockport, and they've got 45 points, and I know they need a win just to get to 4, to wind up 4-5, and they're playing a very good Homewood Flossmoor team. If they happen to beat Homewood Flossmoor to give them 51 points, I think you kind of answered my question here, where there's just too many 5-win teams out there for Lockport. 51 points to me is a huge number, but at 4-5, they just don't. They've got enough points, but the bracket becomes too full.
Yeah, if they make that happen, well, the first thing that it does is it will create another spot, because in Lockport winning, they'd also be denying Homewood their fifth victory.
Yep.
Right. So it would create another one of those teams. And if, like you said, they end up getting to 51 points, I believe that would put them third in line amongst the teams that were trying to get in with 4 victories. So 50-plus points is usually a pretty good indicator that you're at the very least going to be in the conversation.
Okay.
I would think that just based on what we know now, if Lockport does get that win, I mean, it will be one of those situations where we're sweating it out to see if they actually get 255 or 256 on the list, or they end up at 257 or 258.
Where does Providence sit in the sweat box right about now?
Well, I mean, I honestly think for them, based on all the factors that we've just discussed, it's pretty close to a must-win situation for them.
Right.
They've got to get that 5th. They are behind. It's kind of a weird situation with Providence, because if you look at their schedule before the season started, you would say they're going to have no problem getting to 50. But then this is what happened this year. You know, Loyola's not 8 or 9 points anymore.
Yep.
Right.
Carmel's been a little bit of a disappointment. We were expecting more from them. You know, so when you look at their schedule before the year, you're thinking 50 points, no problem in there. But then in reality, we get down to it. You start breaking each one of those individual teams down. A lot of the teams on their schedule not produced at the level we kind of expected them to at the first part of the season.
We had a DM from a Fenton fan talking about the season that they're having, and they're one of those teams that haven't been around much, and great to see them in line. Who are a handful of others for you that you're just kind of happy and excited to see make a move here?
You know, it's been a funny year in that sense. You know, as far as marking standouts, Fenton obviously is a really good story in regards to that. But, you know, trying to kind of parse out like what's going on, a little bit out of the window, but I'm nice to see Mantino coming back kind of the way that they did. That's a program that had some success in the early part of, you know, the 2010s, but it kind of fallen off a little bit. They've bounced back really well. You know, and it's, aside from some of those stories, I think you have to dig a little bit deeper and like go down south to find the really interesting ones. I mean, my favorite one this year is East Richland down in Almy, 0-9 last year, and have the opportunity to finish 9-0 here. So that's another one that I look at. It's pretty hard to find a better turnaround than that. But I just think it's been really interesting this entire season that I just feel like there are a whole bunch of games on the weekly schedule that you look at and you're like, I'm not sure who's going to win that game. And I don't think we've had a season like this in a while, where there's just so much up in the air in an average week, where you just kind of look at it and say, you know, I'm really not sure who's going to win that game. And that makes for fun if you're not connected to one of those two teams directly. I'm sure that makes it a kind of a painful experience if every week you're ending in one of these dogfights. But as far as the casual observer goes, makes for a lot of interesting football.
So speaking of interesting football, have we been watching good football, parity, or just not very good football so far this year? I still can't figure it out exactly, but I kind of have a direction where I'm leaning. What's your thought?
I think it's a little bit from all three columns in some ways. That might be a cop out of a little bit of an answer there, but you know, I do think that the parity word is one that I've used a lot to describe this.
Yep.
I just think the pool is a lot bigger. Like, and some of them are still sharks that are swimming around in the pool, but I think there are just a lot more fish in the pool than there usually are. when we look at games like, you know, in the past where on paper you'd see, you know, maybe a 5-3 playing a 3-5 at this time of season, you'd have a pretty clear-cut definition in your mind who's the better team. I don't know if that necessarily is true this year. I think you have a lot of times where you've got teams that maybe caught a break early in the season, got a win maybe that they didn't deserve, or got a little lucky break, a little bounce, and that's caused them to be, you know, above the 500 mark. And then you got another team that maybe caught a few bad breaks in the wrong place, and they're probably the same team, just staring back at another. It's like that Spider-Man meme where they're just kind of pointing at each other. So it's, you know, I think that's a lot of what we're looking at right now. Do I think we have a whole bunch of upper echelon teams? I'm going to frankly say no, I don't think we do. Yeah. I think we have some truly really good football teams, but as far as like those elite teams that we're going to be talking about 5, 6, 10 years from now, I don't know how many of those we really have.
You know, Steve, to get to that point too, you know, we're going to stay within our area here, the realignment of the Southwest Valley Conference. And I think that gets to the point that you and Edgy were just discussing here. Those teams in that conference just beat up on each other. And I think people finally realized in our area how good Naperville Central and Naperville North are. And they're just beating up. And I think that's why the records, of course, Naperville Central is undefeated as Lincoln Way East. But all the other teams in the conference, those 12 or 13 other teams, are basically 6-3, 5-4, 7-2, where they just kind of beat up on each other.
Well, you know, I look at it from the area's perspective. It just felt like every week this week, I'd look at who Lincoln Way Central has, and I'd get that little cringe. And then I'd look to see who Lockport has, and I'd get that little cringe. And then I'd get Lincoln Way West, and I'd be like, oh, geez. It just felt like every week, all, you know, those teams and everyone else, you look on the other side of the ledger on who they're playing, and you're like, that's a really good football team. And that was happening every week. There were very few moments in that schedule where you would be like, okay, here might be a little bit of a breather. I mean, you have to, in that conference, the way that it was aligned, the way that the schedules were set up, you know, you didn't play all your games in conference, but it felt like every game that you had, whether it was in division or crossover, you better strap it up, because if you don't, that other team's looking for an opportunity to take you out, because, you know, I feel like all those teams are pretty good football teams. But then you look, they've got 2, 3 losses, you know, maybe 4. And it's like, I think they're pretty good still, you know? So I think that, you know, those teams, when we get them into the draw, if they do qualify for the playoffs, I think if you're an overseed against a 6-3 team from the Southwest Valley, you're going, man, I don't know how much of a benefit I gained from getting a high seed here. So I think that it was a very interesting first year in that league. I'm very interested to see if it continues.
Well, I got a little something. I'll share for everybody. And I'm sure you've talked to probably the same people I do, but from what I'm hearing, they are moving forward with another year. Okay. So not going to tell you who I'm hearing, but I'm hearing that. I'm hearing that the conference setup might change a little bit, but that's to come. But it sounds like it's going to go forward. So that's what I've heard. Well,
you know, I think that, you know, in some senses, you know, I'm glad to hear that. And then I start to think about, you know, well, what if it didn't? What are the alternatives here?
Yeah.
And I don't really know what they are.
Nope.
So, you know, that's kind of the thing. I mean, it might not be the perfect marriage, but it's better than the alternatives. You know, you put it that way. So, you know, I'm glad to hear it, because I like those kinds of situations. I'm sure some of the teams that are in the league might not share that opinion, because it might wear at them a little bit.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I'm assuming you're gearing up for your 72 hours of non-sleep.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking about, you know, just going to bed about 15 minutes here.
That's cool.
Just to try to get myself a little bit more extra rolling into the next 48 hours. So, but no, it's a good situation. I will not complain about it. It's absolutely It's my Christmas. I know you've mentioned that many times, but yeah, I enjoy it very much. So we'll see what happens. I think we might need to strap up the helmets because I think it's going to be an interesting weekend.
Yeah, I do too. So by all means, you can follow Steve and literally follow him in the middle of the night when scores are rolling through. Just go to Friday Night Drive for details. And always fun. I'll come in there tomorrow night and give you some grief as I always do.
Sounds good, buddy. Try to work on getting more handsome for Saturday night there, pal.
I don't know if it's possible. I think I might have maxed out, Steve. I'm telling you.
I know I'm trying to set that bar really, really high to get it, but I'm just asking you to just put a little bit more effort out there and see if you can clear it.
Steve, I always look forward to that day when I see Edgy in a suit and a tie. I just sit there and laugh.
Yeah, because
he's super comfortable in it. He doesn't look uncomfortable.
No, not at all.
Probably the next time you'll see me, Joe, I'll be laying like this. All right, Seuss, we'll let you go. He's joining us, and again, you talk about a guy that puts in the effort. Oh, man. He's a guy that puts in the effort right there. So yeah, by all means, IHSA TV Saturday night 8 to 9. You got a whole hour making fun of me, so it's right there for you. Live TV.
Well, you know what I'll be doing.
Oh, you'll be writing notes, and I'll get a full report card by the time I walk out of that studio Saturday
My phone
night.
will ring Saturday night, and I'll have it all ready for you.
Oh, yeah. All right, we're going to step aside. When we come back, Rob Zavonar, Lincoln Way East. Oh, by the way, there's a little bit of a game over at Lincoln Way East on Friday night as well. We will talk about his big Week 9 showdown and much more. You're listening to the Week 9 edition of Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL, Will County's News Talk Sports.
Hey, high school football fans. We are happy to announce this week's Malloy State Farm and Pigskin Preview Player of the Week.
We would like to congratulate senior all-purpose back Gavin Hagan of Providence with his 3 touchdowns and Providence's 24-6 win over Marion Catholic. Gavin and his parents will join us along with his coach, Tyler Plans.
On December 8th at the award ceremony at Gatto's in New Lenox, sponsored by Frank Prado, a great partner to this program.
You don't want to miss the largest outdoor Halloween event of the year. The Eve of Haunted Destruction. This Saturday, October 26th at the Dirt Oval at Route 66 in Joliet. Featuring a trunk or treat from 3 till 6. $500 cash to win costume contest for all groups. $500 cash to win burnout contest. Pumpkin throwing contest. Power Wheels racing. Compact Derby. Figure 8 school bus racing. And backed by popular demand, Extreme Trailer Racing. And the greatest fireworks show to end the night. Gates open at 3. Trunk or treat from 3 till 6. Green Flag drops at 6. Tickets are just $30 for adults, $20 for juniors, and kids under 2 get in free. Don't miss the last smash of 2024. The Eve of Haunted Destruction. This Saturday at the Dirty O. The Dirt Oval at Route 66, corner of Route 53 in Schweitzer and Joliet. For registration, more information, and tickets, visit dirtoval66.com. That's dirtoval66.com.
Moments like my daughter telling me a new joke mean a lot to me. But after being diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer, or MBC, which is breast cancer that is spread to other parts of the body, they mean even more. I take Ibrance, Palbociclib Loop.
Ibrance 125 milligram tablets with an aromatase inhibitor is for adults with HR-positive, HER2-negative MBC as the first hormonal-based therapy. Ask your doctor about Ibrance and visit Ibrance.com. Ibrance may cause low white blood cell counts that may lead to serious infections. Ibrance may cause severe inflammation of the lungs. Both of these can lead to death. Tell your doctor right away if you have new or worsening symptoms, including trouble breathing, shortness of breath, cough, or chest pain. Before taking Ibrance, tell your doctor if you have fever, chills, or other signs of infection, liver or kidney problems, are or plan to become pregnant, or are breastfeeding. Common side effects include low red blood cell and low platelet counts, infections, tiredness, nausea, sore mouth, abnormalities in liver blood tests, diarrhea, hair thinning or loss, vomiting, rash, and loss of appetite.
That's the sound of a bone-chilling attraction. The curse of the bayou.
in conjunction with the hair-raising hayride of horror. These dual haunted attractions, hosted by the Lockport Township Park District, are unfolding every Friday and Saturday in October from 7 p.m. till 10 p.m. and the last 2 Sundays in October from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. in Delwood Park, 199 Eastwoods Drive in Lockport. Come for the hayride of horror with all new frightening sights and sounds that will surely keep your eyes peeled for what's next to come in the woods. Then we dare you to attempt the curse of the bayou, where a voodoo priestess has been summoned from the swamps with a legion of menacing monsters looking for a fresh, beating heart. Can you escape the maze unscathed? Eerie movies, bonfires, and live entertainment will also engross you. Group discounts and multiple ticket options starting as low as $15 per person are available at lockportpark.org. This event is sponsored by Sitco. For younger kids, look for a not-so-scary hayride on October 13th and 14th. Tickets and info available at lockportpark.org.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
High school football on 1340 WJOL.
And welcome back. It is a Week 9 edition of Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL, Will County's News Talk Sports. EDGYTIM along with the coach, Joe Rodegaro, Evan Bredesen, and gentlemen, not sure if you're aware of this or not, but I'm going to make you aware of it. 1 week from this evening, it is Halloween. And
I wear my mask every week, though.
Joe, you're so handsome, you can't even wear masks. They won't even fit your face. That's how handsome you are. And we're going to go out. Speaking of handsome, we're going to go out to the phone lines. Head coach of your Lincoln Way East Griffins, the #1 ranked team in the WJOL Big Five since like the 70s, I think. I've lost track.
The bell cow will count.
They are. And Rob joins us. Rob, great to hear from you. Glad you were able to join us, and hope we didn't wake you up.
No, I'm the guy that has the best face for radio. You guys should be all over the television.
Don't worry.
Oh, no,
you'll get your view full on Saturday.
I heard there were rumors about some FaceTime.
Hey,
good, buddy.
Hey, you know what? They keep
earned.
lowering
Well
that.
earned.
They keep lowering that bar, buddy, and I keep barely making it under.
No, that's a standard, man. You're meeting a high standard. I appreciate it.
Great game this week. Is this the game you needed at this time of the year?
Oh, I don't know. I'd take that bye week right now. But, no, just kidding. It's what high school football is all about. We told our guys tonight it's what you've been working since January 4, and we're excited. We got so much respect for Mike and those guys. Just tough, hard-nosed football that they play, and we got work cut out for us. And it's we played some great teams. I would say from an overall complete team, this is the best one. And we played April North and Maine South and some tremendous football teams this year. Top to bottom, though, probably, we're going to have to play for food.
Coach, people talk about your offensive point production, and you guys know that, and to me too, and Edgy, and it's eye-opening. And your team has put up some pretty big numbers, but the one that I look at is that your defense has put up some pretty comparable stats defensively against the first 8 opponents. You give up 12 points a game, but overall, though, looking at your stats, like I said, the offensive stats are off the charts, but I look at the defensive stuff, and they're not too far behind. Your defense has done outstanding these first 8 weeks.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that, but I do have no problem conceding that we're a little more advanced offensively than defensively this year. But we've been proud of our D guys, obviously up front. We've got some special kids, and we're just kind of a no-name scrappy group in the back seven. But I probably said this a week or two ago. We told them, if you're going to be the 7 dwarfs back there, you got to be the 7 angry dwarfs, right? With this D line of ours, it kind of hits. But offensively is really it's been a special group, and it starts up front. And I would be remiss if I couldn't throw out a few seniors' names.
Sure, go ahead.
Yep. The offensive line, it's revolved around seniors: Josh Abbott, Anthony Arrigo, Nick Bapia, Max Chaffee, Adam Frost, Tyler Nolan. I just spotted out 6 seniors that are leading the way up there. And then our receiving core, I think what is sometimes a little bit missed is how deep we are there, because we do rotate guys in and out to keep fresh legs, and when you got a guy throwing the ball all the time, you want to keep fresh bodies, so you start with a Christian Runblake, Keegan Ruane, and MJ Slay. Talon White's been tremendous. Sean Lefevre, and then tight ends, Trey's Molnar and Luke Vetter, and then you throw in a Zion Gist and rotate him with a Brody Gish. It's been fun. And then the other group that gets left out sometimes is kind of like, officials. They don't get noticed unless something bad happens, is your kicking and punting and long stepping unit. We call it KPS, and we're pretty blessed to have an Ari Daniels and a Trace Rouse snapping the ball, and a Grant Urban as a young kid there in that rotation too. So I appreciate the shout outs for those guys offensively, and then you turn around, and I again appreciate your comments defensively. It starts up front with a couple of D1 bookends and Caden O'Rourke and Jacob Alexander, and we're pretty good inside with Mike Jumalo and Gates Ledier, Charlie Cossack's playing well. And then you go to your linebacker core again. Seniors Warren Young, Tyson's Bonar playing good reps, but also sophomores Colton's Bonar, Charlie Palmer, and they're hanging tough. And then finally finishing it up in our 2-shell secondary with our safeties. Nico Moragan, Dylan Weathers are as good as any safeties around. They're just not 6'3", And then our corners have done a nice job. Jeremiah Power. So just appreciate you letting me shout out the group. And
anytime.
They've worked really hard, and again, we're excited about tomorrow, and we just focused this week. We were a little off Monday, and we kind of got their attention, and they came back to practice real well Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So we feel good going into the game about our preparation, but we know that we have an opponent that just finds a way to get it done. They're tough, they're physical, they play an old school brand of football, pounding the ball, but they're very capable of throwing it around the yard. And you talk about defense is playing well, they might be playing as well.
Rob, Edgy and I have talked about this Friday night when he was coming home from Dixon, and we talked about it before the show, right at the beginning of the show. Have you seen, in the games that you have played, have you seen a lot of bad snaps, whether it's on a punt or the shotgun snap, just in general, just like a shotgun snap, or from the, like for a punt? Because on Friday night we were at Lockport, and there was a bevy of them. I mean,
and Rob, I've seen it all over the state this year. It seems kind of crazy. All of a sudden, it just seems like it seems to be a pretty big issue.
Yeah, well, we always like when the other team has those bad ones.
Of course.
We pick those, but I honestly, I don't look back really much and reflect and think that we've had that circumstance. And we've been fortunate not to have to punt a lot, but we really like our snapper, and they've been tremendous. And then our shotgun snaps have been really good. And then you got a kid like Joe Respecter, a big target, and he'll probably get it, whether you think it's 2 feet over his head or down his ankles, he's going to find a way to get it and make a play. So we've been fortunate not to be the victim of that internally, and then we haven't been the beneficiary of a whole lot of it. But I do understand what you're saying. It doesn't seem like it's happened in our games, but that's a credit to our kids who have to, again, it's like a referee. Nobody knows there's a bad snap until it happens, right? Or a bad center that doesn't make the play. You try to assume that that's going to be perfect every time, but that's snapping that long snap job, whether it's field goal or punt, and just those shotgun snaps, which everybody's in shotgun, right? Not Naperville Central is not always in shotgun, but you're in shotgun so much that you hope it just gets better every time. But then there's a few yards between that ball and that quarterback, so I understand what you're saying.
Yeah. Speaking of long snapping and kind of looking at the little things that turn into big things, is this a time of year, or do you wait until you actually get to the playoffs where maybe as a staff, you guys, and I know you guys are always working on fundamental stuff, but is this a time where you like maybe drill down on things like that in particular, getting ready for a playoff run?
Yeah, we're fortunate that our unit, again, we call them KPS, kickers, punters, snappers, they don't play other positions. So, not everywhere you get that luxury, right? Sometimes your linebackers, your snapper, your centers, your long snapper too, but we're fortunate to have just 3 guys that they kick, they punt, they snap for an hour and then they go talk to the trainer girls on the side, right? So
Yep.
it's good work if you can find it.
That's right.
But then you're expected to perform on Fridays too, and nobody's above, being held accountable. So we're for Tommy Lynch was a former All-State kicker for us, All-American at St. Xavier. He comes back and works with those kids, and we've been fortunate in the long snapping area. It's fun to bring these guys' names up too. We had 6 years in a row when the last name was Florentine. And Mike, the older brother, was a scholarship kid in North Dakota State. Jack's up snapping at Northwestern right now. And then Trey Sarauskas, our current junior, just got mentored by those guys and have kind of picked up where we left off. So we've been fortunate there. And then we got a couple big legs. And Ari Daniels, as I mentioned, senior, being recruited by a lot of schools to punt. And then Grant Urban is a good young junior kicker. So we're just lucky there. But it's critical. And we commit a tremendous amount of time to special teams. I would put our special teams meeting time, whether it's on the field in the film room or our repetition time out in practice. It's not a scrap it together on Thursday thing. We are working that from Monday all the way through 6 o'clock tonight was a special teams deal. So we don't hope that goes well. It's not an afterthought after you run your O&D because that'll win you a game and lose you a game. And of course, everybody remembers Dominic Joe been around our place. He was just all MAC player of the week last week for Miami, kicking field goals games for them. And then he's kicking 50-yard field goals in the absolute worst weather ever at Warren versus Lake Oasis and DeKalb a few years back. So
we were there.
That's the one game in 31 years I went out from Warren with one to go back aside.
Yeah, that was.
But anyway, I didn't mean to ramble about it.
No, you're good.
No, you're good. Yep.
Those guys don't get you don't hear a lot about them, and you don't get noticed a lot of them unless they do something bad or something real special. But we're fortunate to have the guys.
Rob, that was the first game we ever did broadcasting from a World War II submarine, so it was good.
How about that? How about that?
It was good. Hey, playoff pairing night tradition. What do you do? Where do you go? Fill me in.
Yeah, no, it's great. We always get together at a coach's home, and we're going to do that Saturday night over at Coach Palisard's, my long right-hand man who we would not have accomplished the success we've had without him. I don't know if you guys knew this, but last year he was given the high school version of the Broyles Award. He was the assistant coach of the year in Illinois. And he got presented that down in Champaign at the state convention. Then he goes to a national convention this February. He's kind of the real head coach behind this thing. And, we've been Felix and Oscar, and not many listeners are going to know what I'm talking about, right, guys? But you guys know who Felix and Oscar were.
Sure.
And he has kept everything balanced and level-headed when I'm a little bit more of an emotional roller coaster guy. But we'll go over to Joel's house. The staff will come, families, and it's just a nice get-together. And then you turn it back into the war room on Sunday morning. Right?
Potluck. Everybody bring a dish or what?
Well, the coach here might get the Palermo's bill picked up. That's the least I can do, right?
Yeah, very good. All right, my friend. Well, good luck tomorrow night.
Good
Go
luck,
get them.
Rob.
And
right.
we'll be talking to you down the road very soon.
Sure. Hey, let me ask you guys. You've been doing a long time. Still an exciting time of year for you?
No doubt about it.
Yes, for sure.
Yep.
100%.
Yep. I agree. We're on the other side of some things, but still a heck of a lot of fun. And it's what's going on with college football and becoming a business. It's so nice to play a lot of high school football.
You know what, Joe?
Totally agree.
Joe, I told someone this the other night. You know what? I'm going to retire when I bring the Wednesday playoff game back. Then I'll retire.
Yeah, I think. Can you believe the medical world allowed that?
No,
I'm sorry, Rob. I didn't hear you, but we appreciate you joining us.
The world allowed that.
He said the world wouldn't allow that.
No, I heard him the first time. I just, I'm ignoring him.
Right. Good answer, Ed.
All right, pal.
All right. Good luck. Good luck. Rob.
All right. We appreciate Rob for joining us. You have listened to hour number 1 of Pigskin Preview, the Week 9 edition. Don't go anywhere. After ABC News, we'll be back for hour number 2. We'll talk Joliet Catholic. We'll talk Providence right here on 1340 WJOL.
Years or older to participate unless specified in contest rules. All state and local, federal, and other taxes and other fees for prizes awarded are the sole responsibility of the winner. Prizes valued over $600 will be issued an IRS 1099 form to report their winnings. All prizes are awarded as is. All entrants and winners agree that the station Alpha Media LLC and their affiliates shall have no liability and shall be held blameless for any injury or misfortune or damage to any person or property insured by entering, participating in, winning, or losing any contest by use or non-use of any prize received. All entrants and winners agree that the station may broadcast or publish their name, city of residence, photo, videotape, film, or any other likeness, including their voice, recorded or live for any reason the station deems necessary without compensation. The radio station reserves the right to change the rules for any contest at any time without notice and limit the number of times an individual may enter a contest or drawing. The radio station will not be responsible for busy lines, disconnections, poor connections, computer malfunctions, lost, late, or misdirected emails, faxes, or mail, or any other circumstances. Get a full list of rules at WJOL.com.
Will County's News Talk Sports, 1340.
From ABC News, I'm Chuck Severson. Eric and Lyle Menendez could be freed relatively soon after resentencing to allow parole. The Los Angeles District Attorney says he'll ask a court to okay the change tomorrow. At the LA courthouse, ABC's Alex Stone.
35 years ago, the Menendez brothers were seen as monsters who murdered their parents in cold blood while watching TV. But today, a new generation has a different view of them as victims who were fearful of their parents because they claimed they had been abused. There have been TikTok and celebrity campaigns to get the Menendez brothers released, a Netflix documentary, and a scripted series. This groundswell of pressure on the DA, who is up for re-election and appears to be losing. He says, though, this is not political at all.
After meeting with Qatari officials to try to get a Gaza ceasefire, Secretary of State Antony Blinken heads to London. Russian President Vladimir Putin appears to have confirmed U.S. reports that North Korean troops are deployed to Russia's war with Ukraine. ABC News Chief Global Affairs correspondent Martha Raddatz.
There are new images from Ukrainian intelligence showing what they tell ABC News are North Korean soldiers in Russia collecting gear and uniforms. The Pentagon has confirmed that some 3,000 of those goose-stepping North Koreans are now at multiple Russian military training sites. The Ukrainians claiming they are already on the front lines.
Vice President Harris holding a star-studded rally outside Atlanta with the actors Samuel L. Jackson, directors Spike Lee, Bruce Springsteen, the boss in between songs, telling the crowd,
I want a president who reveres the Constitution, who does not threaten but wants to protect and guide our great democracy, who believes in the rule of law and the peaceful transfer of power.
Also at the Harris rally, former President Obama, Donald Trump with a rally tonight in Nevada. You're listening to ABC News.
If you're familiar with what the inside of your gutters look like, that means you're spending too much time on a ladder, unclogging them year after year. This fall, enjoy the leaves without the clogs, thanks to Leaf Filter. Leaf Filter's award-winning patented technology keeps out everything but water. Right now, save 30% off your entire purchase at leaffilter.com/listen. It's a great investment and offers the protection you need from water damage. Do-it-yourself projects can end up costing you more at the end. Instead, do it right with Leaf Filter. Autumn weekends were made for long walks in the woods, not climbing a ladder. Every installation comes with a lifetime no-clog guarantee and protects your home from flooding, roof damage, and more. Schedule your free inspection and get up to 30% off your entire purchase at leaffilter.com/listen. That's a free inspection and up to 30% off at leaffilter.com/listen. See representative for warranty details.
The Pentagon today announcing an anti-ISIS operation in Iraq.
Earlier today, U.S. forces participated in an Iraqi-led operation against ISIS fighters in the Anbar province in Iraq. Our assessment of the operation is still ongoing, and to my knowledge, there were no U.S. personnel injured in the operation.
Deputy Pentagon Press Secretary Sabrina Singh. The operation follows a U.S. raid that at several locations in central Iraq, during which the Pentagon says the new leader of ISIS was killed. A new book from outgoing Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell lays more criticism of Donald Trump the days leading up to the election.
In his final days as the top Senate Republican, Mitch McConnell says the GOP has become a party that Ronald Reagan wouldn't recognize. The Price of Power by AP Deputy Bureau Chief Michael Tackett has McConnell calling the MAGA movement completely wrong. The book also has McConnell calling Trump stupid, ill-tempered, and a despicable human being. Earlier this month, McConnell said in a statement that what he said about Trump pales compared to what J.D. Vance and others have said about him, but, quote, "We are all on the same team now." ABC's Stephen Portnoy. A federal appeals court in New York today agreeing to pause its decision on bail for music mogul Sean Diddy Combs. Combs' lawyers claim new information might convince the district court judge to grant pretrial release on bail. Prosecutors accused Combs' legal team of forum shopping. Chuck Sievertson, ABC News.
Hi, I'm Angie Hicks, co-founder of Angie. When you use Angie for your home projects, you know all your jobs will be done well. Roof repair? Done well. Kitchen sink install? Done well. Deck upgrades? Done well. Electrical upgrade? Done well. Angie's been connecting homeowners with skilled pros for nearly 30 years, so we know the difference between done and done well. Hire high-quality, certified pros at Angie.com.
Hey, high school football fans. We are happy to announce this week's Malloy State Farm and Pigskin Preview Player of the Week.
We would like to congratulate senior all-purpose back Gavin Hagan of Providence with his 3 touchdowns and Providence's 24-6 win over Marion Catholic. Gavin and his parents will join us along with his coach, Tyler Plans.
On December 8th at the award ceremony at Gatto's in New Lenox, sponsored by Frank Gatto, a great partner to this program.
Tune in to 1340 WJOL next Monday morning for Will County's Habitat for Humanity, Building Homes and Changing Lives, hosted by members of the Will County Habitat for Humanity. Topics during the show will include affordable housing in Will County, how to become a Habitat partner, where Habitat is building in Will County, and ways you can get involved on their construction sites with their Restore and their upcoming events. Will County's Habitat for Humanity, Building Homes and Changing Lives will run 2 Monday mornings a month from 9:30 a.m. to 10 a.m.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down, get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avacincaptad pagel is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
Paid for by Estella's Pharma.
They're back.
What? Caramel apples are back at Dan's Homemade Candies?
They are indeed.
You mean that mouth-watering, sweet, delicious, hand-dipped fresh caramel apple from Dan's Homemade Candies? They're there? Like right now?
Yep, all the varieties of caramel apples that start with a crisp, juicy, firm, fresh apple dipped in Dan's smooth, creamy, homemade caramel made fresh daily right there in the store.
Let's go! Should I get the original caramel, chocolate covered, or with nuts, or both?
I'm going for the dark chocolate in the biggest, fattest caramel dripping apple you've ever seen.
Dan's Homemade Candies, here we come.
Dan's Homemade Candies are only here for a limited time at 1003 Plainfield Road in Joliet and in downtown Joliet at 229 East Cass Street. Online at danshomemadecandies.com.
High school football on 1340 WJOL.
And welcome back. It is hour number 2 of the Week 9 edition of Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL. Tim here along with the coach, Joe Rodriguero. Evan Bredesen behind the scenes. And, well, you're out there watching this nonsense. Welcome aboard. Glad to have you here. We will be here for the next hour. We are definitely going to focus quite a bit of our time and attention on the big game of the week, 6:05 Friday Night Lights with Tony joining us. And then 7:30 kickoff, Joliet Catholic on the road And depending upon the construction traffic, could be a long drive or maybe not. Just depends which way you go. Traveling to the Emerald Isle to take on Providence for yet another huge showdown in the area. And again, make sure you tune in. Should be a tremendous game out at Providence Catholic tomorrow night. Joe?
Yes, sir.
815-254-7300. Would you like to talk playoffs? We could do that. We can talk about the season in general. Joe, we need to talk about potential coach of the year, player of the year, if you have any thoughts that way. 815-254-7300. This edition and every darn edition of Pigskin Preview brought to you by State Farm agents John Wright and Joliet and Kevin Malloy in New Lenox, like a good neighbor, Joe.
State Farm is there.
Area coach of the year. I got a name right at the top. Boy, they have very low playoff points, but the year that they've had so far, Joe, compared to where they were a year ago, I think Josh Brosman from Plainfield South has got to be a name we probably are going to have to consider.
That, yes, I never did. I never thought of that, but you are absolutely correct. He's done a great job there. It all started with that week 1, 3-0 shutout.
Yeah,
and they won the next week too with another kick. But yeah, they've done a great job all year long, and I know they're most
they get a win, right? They beat Joliet Central. They'll most likely get a home game. You don't want to know who's projected to play you?
No, we don't. No, I don't.
We're not going to tell you that in Plainfield South. We're not going to tell you at all.
Not till next week.
Yeah, but
I'm sure
we haven't talked to Josh, and that's my bad. We definitely should have reached out sooner, but we will leading up. I think next week, by the way. So I'll be doing the TV. IHSA TV. I'm co-hosting with Dave Bernhardt. Yeah, I know. I'm frightened too. Don't worry about it. We'll be back here Thursday, and I think what we're going to do, guys, is we're going to completely lock in and just focus, obviously, on the playoffs. We're not going to have any coaches on. We drag our coaches in here enough during the regular season. I like seeing how the brackets fall and then maybe going after some opposing team, either coaches or media. But I really want round 1 for us to really dig into it, really dig in all 8 classes and get an overall feel and vibe. And we might bring in a special guest here or there, probably more media-like. So let's give you an idea. We're definitely going to hit it hard next Thursday night for sure, right, for 2 hours. So kind of our plan. Again, 815-254-7300. Would love to hear from you. Joe, anyone else kind of jump out at you when we talk coach of the year? I mean, there's some that you can name every year.
Yeah.
Rob Zavonar, you can name every year. Jeff Raines, every year.
A guy that I think too flies under the radar a little bit is Francis Lager in Coal City.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a great team this year, and they lost to Morrison to Wilmington. They beat Mantino pretty good, and they play Mantino. I just would expect them to beat Mantino this week. They've got a very nice team, and he's done a good job not only this year but the past. I think last year was his first year, I believe. But that's another guy that, I think he's doing a pretty good job too.
Yeah, I do too. Others, we mentioned Z, we mentioned Jeff Raines. Manuka should be an interesting game, hosting Bolingbrook.
Right.
You got to win that, Joe.
You have to.
You just have to. There's no way you can't.
Right.
You don't want to go 6-3 because then you're on the road.
Right.
And God knows who you're going to get matched up with. You just don't know. We mentioned Josh Brosman from Plainfield South.
Another guy.
Jaws, we can always name.
Anthony Amberdino, too, of Plainfield North, the way they started this year.
And they've bounced back, and they're a team. I don't know if I want to play them early in the playoffs, honestly.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
815-254-7300. We'll go out to the phone lines. Billy joining us. Hello, Billy.
Hey, guys. How are you?
We're doing fine. Good. How are you?
Good. I just loved hearing Josh Brosman mentioned as a potential coach of the year.
He's earned it. Again, we've talked about it. We're not going to hide from it. You look at the playoff points, they're incredibly low, but you still got to beat the teams on your schedule. And as Joe mentioned, those 2 early non-conference wins were big wins for them.
Well, they were huge, and it's created so much enthusiasm in that school community. He, he's an algebra teacher. He's doing it in the classroom and on the field for those kids. It's really cool to see.
Yeah, and again, look at where they finished last year. So again, that's that tells me that he had kids and coaches in that building that bought in. Otherwise, this season wouldn't have happened this year.
No
doubt.
Yep.
Excellent.
Yes.
Have you looked at any projections yet?
I'm afraid to.
Don't.
Nah.
Trust us.
Don't ruin your
Just
night
don't.
right now.
Enjoy it. Enjoy the ride.
You never know what could happen, right?
That's true.
No, that is absolutely
another week of games, and maybe
and it's going to be
something unexpected happens.
Bill, it's going to be a home game too. It's going to be a home game for him.
Yeah, most likely you'll wind up
right.
with a first-round home game, which is always good. So,
all good. Well, great. It'll continue to be a great experience for the kids, and it's just been an outstanding year for them.
No doubt
so.
about it.
Yes.
All right. Well, hey,
Good job,
Billy,
guys.
thanks for
keep up the good work.
Yep,
All right,
thanks
thank
for calling.
you very much.
All right, Billy drops off, leaves a phone line open, 815-254-7300. Joe, let's go through some of the area games.
Okay.
We'll save the next one for a little bit later. Herscher at Piatone.
I'm going to go with the tone here.
I'm shocked by that, Joe.
Yeah, I know. You
Lyle at Reed Custer. Joe.
This is where it happens, Edge. I'm telling you that right now. Reed Custer gets their first win of the year.
Mark it down. Coach Joe making the call. Kohler's hosting Mantino. Pretty good game.
I think, yeah, it is. It is going to be a pretty good game, but Evan and I and Dewey saw Coal City against Wilmington, and I think they're a very good team. I really do. And I went up to Coach Logren after the game and told him so. And it's just that Wilmington does what it does, but I think they're a team that can go a couple rounds in the play, depending upon who they play. But I think they're going to get a big win tomorrow.
By the way, Lamont is playing right now, Joe. They are playing Hillcrest. Hillcrest has a 22-14 lead, 22.7 seconds left in the first half, thanks to our guy, Matt Now, who's out covering that. So again, hopefully they can get a win here to close out the regular season.
Yes.
Wilmington hosting Streeter. Joe, have you ever been to Streeter?
No.
I've never met anyone that's ever been to Streeter. Evan, you? No. See, no one has. I don't think it exists, honestly. I really don't.
Do I have to say who's going to win that game?
Yes, you do. We have to officially get on the record. Otherwise, Evan doesn't get paid if we don't do that. So
Wilmington?
Yep. Very good.
Might be a 10-man game, but you never know.
Joliet Central at Plainfield South. Yeah, I know.
Unfortunately, I think it's going to be Plainfield South.
I know. Plainfield East at Romeoville.
I'm going to go with the Ville here.
Okay.
That means they'll have 3 wins this year. Coach Trotter and those guys have done he's done an outstanding job with his staff, and the kids have done a good job.
Plainfield Central at Joliet West.
That's going to be Joliet West.
As we mentioned, Bolingbrook and Minooka.
I'm going to pick the Indians there. I am. I'm picking Minooka. They strong. I mean,
it's go time.
It is. It's go time for them, and maybe they found something offensively, and that's why I'm going to go with them.
Yeah, we'll see how that one shakes out. Yorkville and Plainfield North.
I'm going to go with North. I just think defensively, problem scoring points this year, so I'm going to go with Plainfield North.
Go out to the phone lines. Join Jack. Good,
yeah,
buddy.
we are.
How are you?
Good. How are you? Hey, Coach Rod, this is Jack and Judy in Philadelphia.
Oh, how you doing? All right. We get them all from all over, Edge. Good.
How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good. We're looking forward to the game tomorrow night. As you know, we're big Joliet Catholic fans.
Right.
And we're excited about the game. We think, we're so glad that this rivalry, is coming back more and more, and they're playing more often now.
Yeah, that it's one of the things. It's funny you mentioned that, Jack, because I was talking to some of the Mount Carmel people the other day, and don't think worse of me for talking to them. Sorry, I have to it's part of my job. And they had mentioned, how much enthusiasm there was when JCA played at Mount Carmel, and even some of the diehard Mount Carmel fans are saying, yeah, you know what, this is a game that we kind of need to get back on a more regular basis. And obviously the same with Providence. I agree. I think they should play every year. I really do.
Yeah, we think so too. And, it's what's so great about it is being able to watch the games as we do and listen to them from out here. And all the schools now are doing such a great job on the streaming that they do.
Yes.
And of course, WJOL with Coach Rod and Dewey and Evan, they do such a great job. And it brings us such joy, to be able to stay in touch as we do, even though we're 800 miles away now.
That's right. Coach Joe brings all of us joy every single day.
Boy,
Every day. Sometimes it's brownies. Sometimes it's cookies.
Sometimes it's pizza.
Sometimes it's pizza. Thanks, Joe, for the pizza tonight.
Jack, that's the only reason why they allow me in this to do this every Thursday night. That's the only reason why.
Hey, we all have our jobs and responsibilities, Joe. Okay, I don't make the rules.
Yeah, I know you don't.
No, but we appreciate that, and we appreciate the phone calls. And Joe, we were talking about this not too long ago that it's one of those things where the wife and I were out to dinner one night and we had finished, and there was an older couple sitting across from us.
This is a good one.
And they said, "Oh, we love listening to you on the radio." I go, well, thank you very much. I said, I'm Dave Dwyer, and this is my wife, Denise. So she kind of looked at me like, okay. So anytime I'm at Cracker Barrel in Joliet, I'm now known as Dave Dwyer. So,
but you guys are the best, and we thank you for all you do.
No, we appreciate that. Thank you. Have a good night.
Okay, good luck tomorrow.
All right, Jack. Thank you.
Way to go, Evan. You snipped him. He didn't thank you at all. Actually, he did. He did. He actually did. Thank you. No, we love those calls. Thank you very much.
I think Jack and Judy were and I could be wrong, but I think they were the ones that actually got back to us after the Sacred Heart Griffin Joliet Catholic State Championship game. They listened to us on the radio too, and they sent an email to Scott, and he sent it to us, and we thank them very much. But yeah, it's great that people around the alumni and listen all over the place.
No doubt. We're happy to do it. We're proud to do it.
Yes.
And appreciate all the support. There's no doubt about it. And that's why this area is as great as it is.
Exactly.
Because of support like that.
Yeah, to support the fans.
Fantastic. All right, step aside and take a break. When we go back, we'll come back. We'll go out to the phone lines. And joining us, Jake Jaworski from Joliet Catholic. Got a lot to ask Jaws. Haven't had him on for a few weeks. So we'll break everything down. You're listening to the weeknight edition of Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL, Will County's News, Talk, Sports.
Hey, high school football fans. We are happy to announce this week's Malloy State Farm and Pigskin Preview Player of the Week.
We would like to congratulate senior all-purpose back Gavin Hagan of Providence with his 3 touchdowns and Providence's 24-6 win over Marion Catholic. Gavin and his parents will join us along with his coach, Tyler Plants.
On December 8th at the award ceremony at Gatto's in New Lenox, sponsored by Frank Gatto, a great partner to this program.
At Immediate Cure, we understand that emergencies don't wait. That's why we offer fast and reliable care for all ages.
And for our little ones, we have eKids Pediatric Quick Care. Our pediatric experts provide gentle and compassionate specialized care to ensure your child's health and comfort.
But that's not all. Aesthetics by Immediate Cure helps you look and feel your best. From skin rejuvenation to cosmetic procedures, our experienced team is here to enhance your natural beauty.
So whether you need medical attention for the family, specialized care for your child, or a beauty boost,
when your family's in need, trust the E.
You don't want to miss the largest outdoor Halloween event of the year, the Eve of Haunted Destruction. This Saturday, October 26th at the Dirt Oval at Route 66 in Joliet. Featuring a trunk or treat from 3 till 6. $500 cash to win costume contest for all groups. $500 cash to win burnout contest, pumpkin throwing contest, Power Wheels racing, compact derby, figure 8 school bus racing, and backed by popular demand, extreme trailer racing, and the greatest fireworks show to win the night. Gates open at 3, trunk or treat from 3 till 6. Green flag drops at 6. Tickets are just $30 for adults, $20 for juniors, and kids under 2 get in free. Don't miss the last smash of 2024. The Eve of Haunted Destruction. This Saturday at the Dirty O. The Dirt Oval at Route 66, corner of Route 53 and Schweitzer in Joliet. For registration, more information, and tickets, visit dirtoval66.com. That's dirtoval66.com.
Mom, meet Sarah.
From first-time Nana moments.
Welcome to Flight 101.
To annual girls trip moments. Your can't-miss moments are worth protecting against RSV. If you're 75 or older or 60 plus with a chronic condition like asthma, COPD, heart disease, or diabetes, you're at higher risk of being hospitalized from RSV. And there are no prescription RSV treatments. Check eligibility and schedule your RSV vaccine at vaxassist.com.
So where should we go next?
Sponsored by Pfizer.
What was that?
That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud phone system. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very
calm. I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Nice. Find your business comm at ooma.com/radio.
Your official home for Joliet and Will County sports is 1340 WJOL.
And welcome back. It is the Week 9 edition of Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL, Will County's News Talk Sports. EDGYTIM along with the coach, Joe Rodagaro, and Evan Bredesen. And we will go out to the phone lines, joined by the head man at Joliet Catholic Academy, Jake Jaworski. Probably relaxed and rested and tanned after his off week. Jaws, how you doing?
Hey guys, how are you? We're doing well.
Are you re-energized? Are you tan? Are you feeling good?
That cruise?
Yeah, the cruise was short, but it was nice to get away. But excited to kind of get back at it. Interesting week last week. Not having a game, but. We had a great week of practice and, another good week of practice this week and excited about our opportunity tomorrow.
Jaws, I know I talked to you a little bit, but just fill us in again. How did you handle the off week?
We played at Mount Carmel, was at week 7 on Friday night,
Mm-hmm.
and then had week 8 off. So kind of gave the kids the weekend off, and actually gave them Monday off as well, coming off a pretty physical game and honestly 7 weeks of some pretty physical football. So just kind of felt, kind of get the extra day of rest. Also this time of year with the weather changing, just a lot of coughs, a lot of illness kind of going through. So kind of stay away for the weekend, stay away on Monday, and just kind of let our guys, have a little downtime and get their legs underneath them. And then came back and practiced regularly Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Had a light walkthrough on Friday. It kind of got us through the week.
Jaws, is this the toughest schedule Joliet Catholic's ever had?
Yeah, that's a good question. We were wondering about that.
I mean, personally, in my 4 years of playing and 19 years of coaching now, it's got to be up there. The week in, week out. The competition, the level of competition, great teams, great programs, and then just the physicality, the physicality of football. Of our opponents that we've played, it's got to be up there for sure.
Yeah, Jaws, it's funny because you look at the conference and it's ridiculous the amount of teams that are going to go in the playoffs out of your conference. It's obviously it's very impressive, but to me, I go up on a Friday and go watch DePaul Prep, which is a nice, relatively newer program in the conference, and I watch them in Jaws. I tell you what, that's a team that could go make a pretty deep run in 4A. And I'm thinking this is one of the quote unquote smaller teams in this conference. And what I saw out of them, Jaws, to me, that just is kind of a testimony of how good across the board your conference is again this year.
Yeah, I think, I think this is year 6 of the combined conferences. And from top to bottom, there really are no, the bottom of the pecking order or whatever. They're still playing some really competitive football. Haven't really come across DePaul Prep from a film standpoint, but just looking at their schedule and looking at scores, I know they've gave some teams run for their money. And what do they think they're going to be 4A or will they be 4A?
Yeah, 4A.
But that's that's been a program that their numbers from a school enrollment standpoint,
they're really
also
taken
from a
off.
football standpoint, have really taken off over the last 3 or 4 years. And so that's definitely a program that's on the rise for sure. But just the depth of the conference is at an all-time high, I believe.
As far as getting ready for Providence is something I know I've been wanting to ask before. Do you look back at past? Do you go back and look at all the last time you played them, or is it more just kind of zeroed in on what they've done the last handful of weeks to get ready, or is it a combination of both?
Yeah, definitely a combination of both. I mean, I think this is the sixth time we've played them now in the last 4 years.
Right.
You know, we've played them twice in each of the last 2 years. You know, so I think you go back and especially from, you know, a scheme standpoint and some of the things we do offensively, you know, it's pretty wise to go back and see how they've played us and some of our formations and schemes. So yeah, there's definitely a combination of both. You know, obviously teams are different from year to year, but you definitely do both. I think they got a lot of the same coaches run their offense, defense, and whatnot. So there's a lot of similarities, but then, you know, there's some wrinkles too that you got to prepare for.
Yeah, and it always you know, and I've said this before. I don't care if it's football, basketball, chess, softball. It doesn't matter. It's the biggest game in town whenever you guys get together. Can you enjoy that as a head coach, or is it just something that you've got to get past? And you don't have enough time to even enjoy that aspect of it.
Yeah,
because the atmosphere is going to be amazing tomorrow night. You know that.
Yeah, it should be. You know, it should be. You know, but a week 9, you know, and you know, a lot at stake for both teams. So yeah, you know, you try to stay even keeled a little bit. I think I kind of learned that over the years.
Yep.
You know, I think, you know, you prepare the same way week in, week out. Just you don't try to hype up, you know, one game more than the other, you know, and try to keep your kids even keeled. But yeah, it should be an awesome environment, and it should be another beautiful night of football. I think that's one thing looking back on these, you know, 8 weeks so far.
It's been amazing.
Has been unbelievable this fall. I don't know what that means for the playoffs coming up. You know, but it should be a beautiful night and an awesome atmosphere. And just to talk to our guys today, just the amount of opportunities we've had, you know, and, you know, we talk about the bye week. You know, it was nice to kind of get our legs underneath us and
getting healthy
a little bit. Yep. But, you know, I definitely felt bad for our guys because, you know, one thing about football is you only get 9 opportunities. Right. You're only guaranteed 9 games. And that's one of the things that makes, you know, football unique. You know, it's not a baseball, basketball where you're playing 30 plus games, you know, and I think that's what kind of makes it so special, those Friday night lights, is because there's only so many opportunities. And, you know, to think about playing at a Nazareth, playing at a Mount Carmel, going to Providence, I mean, that's to be able to, they're lucky to be able to have these opportunities. And I think that's something that, you know, 20 years from now, being able to look back on and just like, wow, those were awesome nights.
So you mentioned you played at Nazareth. You played at Mount Carmel. You're going to play at Providence. It's a tough place to play too. I don't know. There's going to be any tougher.
Michigan round 2.
Michigan, the big house.
The big house.
But
we played at Oswego as well.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah, that's
no
walking. Yeah, Coach Joe, that's no walking through the tulips here, buddy.
But Josh, that was so long ago, I forgot about that.
Me too.
But there's no. You get into the playoffs. There's no other place that is going to be intimidating to you guys at all.
No, I think we'll be prepared. You know, we'll be prepared, and you know, each whether it's you know, a long drive, whether it's a hostile environment, the playoffs, you know, it's that game. You know, so you try to draw from experience of the past games, but each game, each week is a new, unique challenge, which is pretty cool.
Joe, it's the age-old question: is it better to be loved or feared? I'd rather be feared, Jaws. I think you probably agree. All right, buddy. Well, hey, we appreciate it as always. Good luck tomorrow night and go get them. And, you know, again, just, you know, we'll talk to you a little bit down the road. Okay.
All right. Appreciate it, guys.
All right. Good luck, Josh.
All right. Thanks.
All right. Jake Jaworski joining us from Joliet Catholic. And yeah, it's an amazing atmosphere, as you all know, Coach. And,
yes.
And both sides are revved up. I'm already hearing from both sides. They're all fired up. What do you mean you're not going to the game? I got my 3 best guys on it tomorrow night, okay?
There you go.
If they can't take care of it, nobody can. What they're Tony in is for.
Yes.
There you go.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited to see how that one shakes out. we'll talk to Tyler in a little bit at 7:45. But let's face it, Joe, the back is up against the wall for Providence. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah,
This one.
I mean, in the last, as a head coach, this is his third year. They've been in this situation twice.
Yeah.
And
Well, look at Providence as a program.
yes.
Going back to
Oh, yeah,
Cogs and
yeah.
go. I mean, they've like it or not, they've been in that situation. They know how to handle it. And more often than not, Joe, and if you're a JCA fan, you know this in the back of your mind. More often than not, they come out of it with a win.
Yes.
So that's what's got to concern you.
Yes, I definitely agree with that. I'm sure Jaws has told his guys that also.
Well, as we said, if you got some blemishes and you got some flaws, you better get them cleaned up after this one because they will be exposed tomorrow night starting at 7:30.
They sure will, for sure.
815-254-7300. We've got a few minutes here if you want to call. Love to chime in. More than glad to have you. Joe, let's go through the rest of the area schedule.
All right.
If I can find it. Oh yeah, I got all my stuff there. Bradley at Lincoln Way West. Bradley, always dangerous.
At home, but
Yes.
this is at
They're on
Lincoln
the
Way
road.
West. And after struggles last Friday, I'm sure they cleaned some stuff up at Lincoln Way West. Coach Lokank and playing at Lincoln Way West and Bradley playing away. But again, Bradley's a very good team. They knocked off HF, and which was a surprise to me. But I'm going to pick Lincoln Way West.
Lincoln Way East, the 49ers are hosting Naperville Central tomorrow night, Joe. Will the 49ers put up 49 points again tomorrow night?
That's a great line.
Thank you. I'm sure one of you three will steal it for tomorrow. It's okay.
No,
Evan, you have my permission. So do you,
I
Joe.
have not. I don't know about 49, but I'm going to give them the victory. And another thing that we mentioned that I forgot to mention to Coach Z, we mentioned the defense and the offensive passing game. They average about 155, 60 yards on the ground.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
yeah. You got a Division I running back. I don't know if you're aware of that or not,
Yeah.
but he's pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, it is actually a machine. And as I said every week in this stuff, you got to score at least 40 to beat them. I think you have to score at least 28 to beat them. I don't see anybody, unless a lightning strike happens or something where they're not going to score, at least 35, 40 points. But they're good. I know Naperville Central is good too. Being 8-0 and playing in the conference and things like that. But I just think Lincoln Way East is that good. I really do.
Rich Township at Lincoln Way Central. I think the Knights get a win here and go on a little bit of a run here towards the tail end of the year. Morris at Byron Center, Michigan. Joe, fill us in on your deep knowledge of Byron Center, Michigan.
All I know is they're in I don't know
They're
how
in
they
Michigan, and they're called Byron Center.
I think they're up by Muskegon, I believe.
Okay.
And
I believe you.
And you better, because that's all.
Well, that's more than I know.
I think they're in I don't know how they rank teams or whatever. They like how we do it here, every class. They're in the top 25. So,
Okay, well,
so I think they're
look at you bringing the knowledge.
They're going to be a quality opponent for Morris, who's had that up and down year.
Hey, and how about the Fighting Saints?
Oh my gosh.
Of the University of St. Francis, Joe Curry, our guy, huge win over St.
I
Xavier.
heard they were down by 3 scores also.
They
and
were.
Still came back and won.
They were. Huge win for Joe. They are home, 1:00 kickoff Saturday out at the stadium. They are hosting Judson, who's 1-5. And Joe, what a huge win for the Fighting Saints.
Oh my gosh, yes. I'd like to know what two or three times maybe over since St. Xavier's been in existence.
Been about it.
I mean, you were at the game a couple of years ago when it was 10 below zero and snows all over the place on the sidelines. They lost in overtime. They've lost in double overtime. They've lost by 1 point, 3 points, or whatever. So that's why I was really happy to see that Coach Curry and the Saints got a huge win.
They've been close. They've been so close. There's just been years they've gotten right there, and they just couldn't get past St. Xavier.
Right.
Finally, this year, gets past St. Xavier. Knowing Joe Curry, I know what he's thinking right now. Just shut up. You still have to play Judson, so shut up, you knucklehead, and stop hyping us up. Well, too bad. You deserve it.
They definitely deserve it.
No doubt about it. So great to see, and hopefully get on a roll here and get in the NAIA playoffs and be able to do something. So we will.
Well, they have that destiny in their own hands right now.
So Joe, as a coach, this is that week where if you don't have playoff implications on the line, you're wrapping it up. And there's a lot of seniors and a lot of senior parents out there that it's a very tough week.
Yes.
in a lot of ways. How tough was it for you as a coach, that last game or that last tournament or whatever?
Well,
especially with your seniors. I mean, those are the kids that have been with you for 4 years.
And those are the guys that you really feel the saddest about. Again, in baseball, everybody makes the playoffs, but there's only one state champion. And if you lose in the regional, in which I've lost the first game of regional, and I was sick to my stomach for weeks after that. But again, the guys you want to make sure that last game that you see and talk to are the seniors. I know sometimes what I would do is
I saw you at Washington go over and talk to some of your seniors at the end of that game.
Right. Because of the fact they've given so much to the program and the guys who've been there for 4 years working their way up and playing, you want to make sure you touch base with them and basically just thank them and for their leadership, and we can do anything for them in that in the future. You got my number, just give me a call and it'll get done. And I've done it a couple ways. I've done it on the field, and as I progressed as a head coach, I've done it after, like 2 days later, I would get some breakfast for the kids and we'd talk in a little bit, because everybody's just so high intense after a loss that you take a couple, maybe a day, and come back and say, hey, come on back on Wednesday or Thursday and meet at the field, and we'll be on the field one more time. We'll sit and talk and have a little something
awesome.
to eat and just talk about the season and how much the team meant to me, especially the seniors.
So I talk all the time about playoff time of the year, and I always take in the end of the game. I don't get what I need and take off. I hang around a little bit because it's such a powerful, especially the deeper you go in the playoffs, it gets more intense and that much more emotional. And you see both sides of it on the same field. You see just devastation on one side, and everyone reacts differently. Everyone has a different reaction to it. And, the celebration on the one side, but I always make sure to take in that other side, because that's just part of the story too, that obviously people don't want to tell, but it's an important part of it.
Yes.
Edgy, I can tell you that I have, I'm 37. I've been out of high school for 20 years now. I have friends who they can still tell you which round of the playoffs it was, who the team was, where they played, what the final score was, and the 2 or 3 plays that made a difference in them not winning. Like, still 20 years later, they can remember this guy ran the wrong route, or I missed a tackle here on the goal line, or the ref blew his whistle inadvertently, and we recover that fumble, we score and win the. Like, I have so many friends who can tell you exactly what their last high school football game was. Yeah. It's an unbelievable thing.
I'm going to give credit to Dick Goss here. And I remember him asking me a question when I was a sophomore coach at Providence, a football coach, and we had a lot of success at the sophomore level. And he asked me one time, he said, when was the last loss? And I ran it off like it was yesterday. I told him the score, the date, where it was at, just like you said, Evan. And he says, how come you guys know the losses more than the wins?
Well, that's coaching.
That's just being a coach. And we've talked about this. My lovely bride will say, you can't remember what happened yesterday, but you remember things 35 years ago. Yeah. To the T.
No doubt.
Yeah, you just remember that stuff.
No doubt about it. All right, we're going to step aside and take a break. When we come back, Tyler Plants from Providence Catholic. We'll get things from the Emerald Isle side of the battle tomorrow night out in New Lenox. You're listening to the Week 9 edition of Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL, Will County's News Talk Sports.
Hey, high school football fans. We are happy to announce this week's Malloy State Farm and Pigskin Preview Player of the Week.
We would like to congratulate senior all-purpose back Gavin Hagan of Providence with his 3 touchdowns and Providence's 24-6 win over Marion Catholic. Gavin and his parents will join us along with his coach, Tyler Plants.
On December 8th at the award ceremony at Gatto's in New Lenox, sponsored by Frank Gatto, a great partner to this program.
privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Apply stop to opt out. The FDA has not approved or substantiated these claims.
Mark, you're late again.
Sorry, I just don't have the energy I did a few years ago.
Could be low testosterone.
Low T?
It happens, especially after 40. I was feeling the same way, so I started taking clomiphene from Zelfie. It helps boost testosterone and made a huge difference for me.
I thought testosterone replacement therapies had risks.
This isn't testosterone replacement therapy. There's no injections. It's a simple daily pill that boosts your body's natural production of testosterone.
This helps you?
And clomiphene can double your testosterone levels. I'm building lean muscle and cutting down weight. I'm also sleeping better, plus other benefits in the bedroom. It's easy to try. Plus, send them a text right now and get 40% off.
Text ENGAGE to 200-300 to find out if you qualify for clomiphene from Zelfie. It can double your testosterone levels, so don't wait. Text ENGAGE to 200-300 right now and get 40% off. It's 100% online and ships directly to your door. Text ENGAGE to 200-300. That's ENGAGE to 200-300.
1340 WJOL presents A Rich Conversation with Rich Rennick. No politics, no controversy. Just the lively art of conversation about interesting people in our world.
My mom goes, hey, would you like to go on an interview and maybe do a movie?
Dan Castellana based Krusty the Clown on Bob Bell.
He said, I did a show one time at San Quentin. I said, yeah, I know it. I said, I was sitting in the front row.
They flew me down to Nashville to talk about it, and I got the job.
When Robert Wise decided to cast Christopher Plummer, who had dark hair.
I'm hitchhiking to the Comedy Store every day, begging to work for free. That was the beginnings, really, of hosted horror movies.
So we started the St. Paul Saints, broke every attendance record.
In my newest book, Fans First, the subtitles Change the Game, Break the Rules.
Join me for A Rich Conversation, Tuesday mornings from 9:30 to 10, right here at 1340 WJOL and WJOL.com.
Hi, this is Will County Sheriff Mike Kelly. You're worried about your loved one using drugs, maybe living on the streets or bouncing from shelter to shelter. Maybe they have already overdosed and need help getting into a treatment program or basic help with transportation or clothing. New resources are available through the Will County Sheriff's Department, from access to Narcan, treatment programs, post-overdose, or basic needs. Call 815-724-1404. That's 815-724-1404, or log on to willcountycoalition.com/CARI. That's willcountycoalition.com/CARI. Don't wait. Call or log on today. Funding provided in whole or in part by the Illinois Criminal Justice Information Authority. Points of views or opinions contained within this advertisement are those of the author and do not necessarily represent the official position or policies of the state of Illinois or the Illinois Criminal Justice Information Authority.
High school football on 1340 WJOL.
And welcome back. It is the Week 9 edition of Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL. Will County's news, talk sports, Eddie Tim, along with the coach, Joe Rodagero and Evan Bredesen. And by the head coach of your Providence Catholic Celtics, Tyler Plant's joining us. And Tyler, appreciate you taking a few minutes to join us tonight, and welcome to Pigskin Preview.
Absolutely. Appreciate you guys having me.
All right. Well, before we start breaking things down and get into it, I have to ask you, what's the little guy going as for Halloween?
You know what? We actually had a pretty serious conversation about that the other day. We wanted to. So, like, he has like an eerie resemblance to Boss Baby.
Okay.
Really
There you go.
Towards like the Boss Baby
Nice.
thing. So, like, but also we're like really dead set on a family theme. So we want to get like all three of us involved, and then Jan is actually like, she went to the doctor this week, and I think the doctor said that it was. I know the doctor said that it's like in perfect position to come out at any minute. So her due date's in some point in November. So we were going to try leaning into maybe like Christmas theme, or like she's Santa Claus, like I'm an elf, like go from there. But no, we got some ideas, but we're not 100%.
You'll just show up on Thursday and do what you're told. You know better than
yeah,
that.
no, exactly.
That's right.
Exactly.
Yeah,
no, I think every idea she has is great.
See,
you know what?
There you go.
You've got the book down. He's got it down pat.
He has the game plan.
He does.
That's it.
He knows exactly what he's doing. It's all.
Oh, no, she's the boss. I mean, I realize that.
There you go.
A lot of people used to talk about that all the time, especially Tokus. It's like, yeah, your wife. No, like she's the best. She runs the show, and anything she says from that perspective, for sure.
No doubt
going.
about it.
Very good. You're very good. Learn fast.
Yep. You're not.
a
You're
lot of good mentors.
And you're
trust me,
you're
a lot
not
of good mentors.
you're not the only one in the boat. We're all in that boat.
Yep.
well. Obviously, the most ridiculous thing I can say. Obviously, it's a big game tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Yep. I think it's absolutely a huge game. We're excited for it. A lot of. I mean, it's always fun to play this game. But yeah, especially with everything on the line for us. So yeah, it'll be really exciting for all night.
Tyler, it's great seeing you yesterday. And I was pleasantly surprised to see Purge. I see him every once in a while at the grocery store. But it was nice seeing Purge again, and back helping things out over there. He's a tremendous guy. I've known him a long time, and just a tremendous guy. Not only as a coach, but to be around the kids and stuff.
Without a doubt, he's one of the best of all time. I mean, you talk about a guy who's a great mentor for me. So again, after linebacker in high school here, he was my guy. So again, learning from him was awesome. We talk about being a technician, doing the little things right. That's the guy who he never lets you take a step out of line. Like everything was to a T, and just the way that he held accountability was important. The way he taught the game was important. And then for him, now that he's got his grandson here, we kind of reeled him back in. So I told him, like, if we need to get you a golf cart, we'll get you a golf cart. Whatever it is, like, we'll get it done. And it's awesome because then he was a head coach for a little bit too, and he always provides his perspective on stuff, and I value it as much as anybody's. But it's also funny because it's like we'll have a couple different trains of thought on things too, where it's like, for me, it's like, all right, let's be aggressive. And for him, it's like, he's got certain words that he likes to use, but he never holds back, which is also.
Oh no!
Yeah,
so, I mean, you are exactly right there.
We actually got a picture of him in our office right now, where it's from him back in his St. Rita days. So we have a piece of tape over the St. Rita logo, but we got Purge's. We got Purge's like 26-year-old face over here. So we always have the kids always come by and they're like, "Who is that?" And like Coach Purdy's always sitting right next to it. He loves the picture.
Oh, I
mean, at least one of the all Providence greats, Catholic League greats, and I think one of the best coaches I've ever been around is Coach Purdy.
Yesterday we were out to see Gavin Hagan, and the first time I actually got a chance to meet him, and what a great young man.
He's one of my favorites.
And and we talked about, you and I a little privately talked about Mason Santiago, but I put Gavin Hagan in. You can tell me if I'm wrong, but you can kind of put him in the same category as Mason Santiago as far as a guy that is a team player that you may have to ask him a few times to do the things that he might not want to do, but he'll do anything for the team to get the team a victory.
I think he's definitely. I mean, I think that was a little bit more Mason. Like Hagan's or Gavin's in the spot where you ask him to do it, he'll get it done. Mason sometimes will drag his feet. But nonetheless, he give you everything he can when it was all said and done. But no, he's the same kind of player when it comes down to what he means to the team. And you talk about a guy who guys lean on. So you obviously lean on from top to bottom on a roster, a guy who could do anything at any point in the game. That's definitely something that those guys had in common, and then just looked up to in the locker room. So like we talked about before, the hardest part, I mean, among a million things of losing Mason was he paid it forward to the point where he was with the boys every day in the summer. You got a million things to do when you're 19, 20 years old, and he was able to spend it mentoring young people. And I think that's just kind of a testament to that kid, and then again a testament to what Hagan will grow into too.
When you look at this team and going into this game and where you started the year, well, first of all, we talked with Jaws about the schedule. I mean, I don't know. You've been around that program for a long time, and I'll say right now, week in and week out, do you remember a schedule as tough as the ones you've had the last couple of years?
I don't.
Yeah, there's some really good teams.
There's some great teams. I mean, the biggest thing is there's never a team where it's like, all right, let's.
Yeah, no, there's no weeks
off.
off.
That's been the hardest thing.
Yep.
Yeah, like there's no breathers. Yep. No breathers.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. That's the biggest thing. Transitioning from college to here or to high school is like at least you get a bye week built into one of those weeks. Like Here, it's like it feels like you start in July and you're rolling through.
And
God willing, Thanksgiving.
And you've had some key younger guys. How have they come along, and are they getting to the point where you think they're ready to take that next step up?
I am proud of all of our young guys where the ability just to take coaching. I mean, before I think they just didn't know what they didn't know. And for each one of those guys throughout the process, they've accelerated at a really high rate from week one till now, just because of the willingness to listen. I mean, between Curtis Stubbs, he's been doing a great job. Colin Shedwell, he went out there and played linebacker last week, had a sack, fumble. Like, seeing some of these guys that, I mean, obviously are great players and will turn into even better players. But to see them take coaching, be humble workers, spend their time on even JV for a couple of them, and then be able to be pretty significant players for us now. DJ McCall, same thing. It's been really fun to be able to see these guys progress and grow into the players and the unit and team we're becoming.
You know, talk about, when I see you guys, and we saw you in week 2, and I've seen you last year. There's a guy on offense that, in my eyes, is a very dangerous person on offense for you guys. He plays wide receiver, and that's Xavier Coleman. I just, whenever that kid touches the ball, I hold my breath because I think he has great ability, and he's got great hands, and he does things with his speed, and he could be a game breaker. And I'm sure he has a couple times for you guys this year. But when I look at him, I see a great receiver for you guys.
Yes, I mean, he has been battling a little bit of a hamstring, so when he's out there and he's still blowing past people, that's about 80%, or was. So we shut him down for a little bit, and he should be full of go. So I'm sure you're going to see a lot more flashes of him going into this week. But what we're going to be able to get from that room, I mean, some of those guys are excellent players. I mean, X himself, again, you put a ball in his hands, he's going to do something. Whether it be throwing on the ball, whether it be, again, catching the ball, turning kicks, like he's a special player, just an athlete. And the cool thing for him, it's like there's no performance anxiety. It's like when that ball's in my hands, I know exactly what I'm going to do with it. Like and he's a really smart kid. Like you say something to him once, like he knows and he learns and he understands how to apply it, and he helps teach other kids like what to get done. So I mean, being able to have him kind of beginning to peak at this point of the season too, when it comes down to the injury piece, I mean, that kid I'm excited to see him out there tomorrow night also.
What is it about this JCA team? What makes this group maybe a little bit different than one you've seen in the past?
I mean, they're always a great team. I mean, it's a team that's returning a lot of starters, a lot of team that's, again, really experienced, especially up front on the O-line, linebackers, again, returning. I mean, I don't know if I'd say that there's anything like glaringly different. I think that they're the consistent, like strong, well coached, sound JCA team that, again, they're going to go out there and they're going to attack, and they're a tough team. They play a game well. And we got to do everything right to play a game. So I think from watching the tape and everything, I think that they're as good as a JCA team as we've ever played.
Yep. All right, my friend. Well, again, appreciate you taking time. I know it's a busy time of the year, and always great to have you on. Wish you the best of luck tomorrow night. And again, game of the week here on 1340 WJOL, Joliet Catholic at Providence, 7:30 kickoff. Thanks, Tyler.
Yes, good luck, Tyler.
Awesome. Appreciate it. Thanks a lot for having me, guys.
All right, pal.
Buddy.
Take care. All right. I think we're getting pretty close to wrapping it up. All right, we're going to wrap it up. All right, so for Coach Joe, I'm EDGYTIM, for Evan Bredesen. Thanks, everybody, for listening, for watching. Appreciate you being with us. We'll be back next Thursday, break down the playoffs, round 1. This is the Week 9 edition of Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL, Will County's News Talk Sports. Good night, everybody.